Hello everybody and welcome back to TJ's Lego Room. It's been a little while. Welcome back! Hey, so today we are going to be talking about how to grease your Technic pins when you're putting together a Technic model. I apologize if you see quick flashes of my thumb. I did smash it at work. And no, my hands are not dirty. They're just really calloused. Anyway, to adjust those, to just go over those things real quick. All right, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to grease up a Technic series of gears using just some very simple techniques. We're going to put, it's going to be absolutely nothing special, but this should give us some pretty good ideas on what we need to do in order to build a solid Technic gear system. So we're just going to start with this. This should give us some good ideas and angles on what we need to do in order to grease things up. I may actually, I was thinking about it and I wasn't going to, but I actually am going to show you also how to grease up these end joints to make sure that they're not causing extra friction. So here we go. All right, so we're just going to take all this apart first. All right, so we're going to start with the easy one first. We have a Technic gear on an axle, and we want to put it into a hole. So what we're going to do, now one quick disclaimer while I'm getting this going. I did find that a lot of people use silicone spray lubricants, and those work just fine. However, I still prefer this because the silicone spray lubricants tend to get sticky over time. I used to use them for work as well. Sorry, I missed right there. I'm actually trying to do this while looking through my recording device. I really should just stop and look at it. You'll notice a difference in quality in my greasing. So I grease it right here. And what I also want is when you put it on a gear, I apologize for my thumb, it's so gross. When you put it on a gear, what you really want to do is you want to get it on, sorry about that. Let's see if we can get this thing. So you want to get it on there so that when you push it on, the grease, when we push it in, the Technic pin will push the grease towards the gear. And that's good. We want that because we want the grease to also hit that edge of the gear to make sure that the friction isn't on there. So we put this in, and if we watch closely, we'll see that it squishes. Perfect. And so it actually creates a less friction. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about my thumb. It's so distracting. I smashed it at work, like I said, and it's doesn't hurt anymore, but it's a little bit gross. So now we've got this gear that rotates, and not only does the pin have no friction, but this section doesn't as either. Now you'll notice that it's going through two sections. So what are we going to do? Because if we want to grease it up really well, we really need to get the friction in that pin as well. So we're actually going to pull it back a little bit. And this is actually how I ended up discovering it myself as well. All right, so we grease this up. And then we come over here and we estimate where our stuff is going to be. And you can estimate where it's going to sit as well as a little bit back. And then we push it through, boop, and give it a little spin. And we've got some grease in our holes. And the interesting thing about this stuff is it does have a higher, what do they call that? Surface tension. So to get it going, it stays in place a lot better. It doesn't free spin, but once you're moving it, there's very little friction, which is super nice, in my opinion and in my experience. So now we're going to put the big gear on there that we used to turn it. And so we're actually going to put just a little bit of the grease on the edge of the gear right here. And then we're going to put it just right on. No big deal. No big deal at all. Sorry, that should not have taken that long lining up. If you still notice a little bit of friction, you can add a little bit more grease to it, and that's fine. So here we go. We've got our good greased up Technic gears. Like I said, you can see just even little turns. It stays in place. Boom, 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 boom. But once you get it turning, it's actually very easy to turn. So there's just a little bit of surface tension to break through, and then it spins very nicely. And for the application that I was using it for, this was the best that I discovered that was not as sticky. So now we're going to insert our second section, which is going to be fun. So we start out with the exact same thing. So we put the gear on, grease up the axle, like so, and we stick it in. And we're going to be a little bit more judicious with our time here. So what we're going to do is, what should we do? Should we have the gear first? No, we'll do this first. So we're going to put this on. We are going to grease up this little thing, because what it's going to do is it's going to be hitting the blue brick. And so we want to make sure that it is greased up against that blue brick, and we want to hold it there while we push it through. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Then we're going to take our Technic gear and we're going to grease it up on only one side. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the little buffer there is not going to spin against it. Therefore, it causes zero friction against the gear. Then we stick that in, turn it, get it in there. Boom, look at that. And then we stick it in, get it in there, and we have a fully greased section. Now, I could have greased this also, but I knew I had some extra grease that would come off that gear. Now, the last thing that I want to show you is how to grease these wheels right here and how to get even. And it's super easy, barely an inconvenience. You just spin them towards each other and get the grease on there. And there you go. You've got your fully greased up gears. And there's so little friction on this thing. I absolutely love it. It's great. It's also great for your hands. Not really. It's actually an oil base. Not perfect. But I have noticed no discoloration in the gears. You obviously do have this white stuff that does linger for a long time. My understanding is that it can get a little bit dry over several weeks or months, but otherwise this stuff lasts a very long time, and I'm very happy with it so far. Man, it's just, Technic gears are so cool just to sit there and spin them. So there you go. That is a quick tutorial on how to grease up your Technic pins and how I was able to do it for my crane. I did have some pistons that I did grease up, and all you had to do was extend the piston all the way out, lubricate it up, and pull it back in. So thank you so much for checking out the channel. Hopefully this was helpful to some of you. I have gotten some requests to do some in-depth take-aparts of some of my mocks. I am happy to do that. I'm excited to do that because the project that I'm working on now that I started in September for kind of a Shiptember build, you got a sneak peek of it last time at the end of the video. It's huge. Like it's a trip out of the Lego room huge to show it to you. I'm really excited about it. I don't have anything to show you right now because I'm actually rebuilding a lot of the internals, but these are some laser cannons for it. Yeah, these are small compared to the ship. It's a big ship. So thank you so much for checking out TJ's Lego Room, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.